start with the session on research tools. In this session, I will be covering various measuring instruments. Now, say if it is experimental studies in science and technology, various technical areas, maybe that um, the equipment in the form of these instruments they are used for conducting the study. As far as survey studies are concerned, Dr. Tulsi, while discussing survey research, he made a mention of the tools which we use for survey research. They are mainly questionnaire, interviews, and observations. So we will be discussing these instruments in this session. So any device which is used to quantify and record information that is referred as the measuring instrument as far as survey research are concerned. And the types are, they can be classified into two types. One is the standardized instruments which are available in the market also, and in their construction certain steps are followed so that they give us the valid results. Now the areas can be achievement tests, standardized achievement tests are available, aptitude tests maybe for any area, maybe for achievement, maybe for space relations like that, will be maybe for the even the clerical aptitude tests. So point is different for different areas, aptitude tests are available in the market. There are ability tests also, IQ tests, emotional intelligence, different types of such tests are also there. Personality tests, which I just said, emotional intelligence and all these are available on the website also and with various publishers also. The other form is the, so everything you can't find in the standardized instruments, and it may be that your variables are like that, that they are not for those variables standardized tests are not available in the market. So what we go there, the researcher has to develop those things, and they may be in the form of questionnaires. For certain research, we also need interview schedule and observation schedule. Interview schedules are generally used where we want to see that whether the questionnaires are really filled in that spirit. So instead of taking the whole sample, interviewing the whole sample, we take selective, say 10% of the sample with whom we also conduct the interviews. Interview schedule can be solely also used for the research purposes, but it may at certain points be in addition to the questionnaire for a sample of that. Then we have the attitude scales. We want to know the perceptions of the different categories for any variable at hand, and there can be teacher-made achievement tests also. Now, in these standardized instruments, the procedure for developing is very rigorous, and the full care is taken that they give us the valid and reliable results. In the researcher developed also, we take care that the information which we are giving, that is giving us the valid results. Because if the results are not valid, the whole purpose, whole findings of the research, they go into water. They are not dependable. They are not giving us the results for generalization. So this was just about the measuring instruments. First of all, I will be taking questionnaire. I will be explaining this questionnaire at length, and we'll like to know from various centers what they mean by this questionnaire. Let me first ask Sri Sukhmani Polytechnic College, Dera Bassi. Any faculty member from Sri Sukhmani Polytechnic College, Dera Bassi? Yes, what you understand by the meaning of questionnaire?
Good morning, ma'am. Hello. Hello. Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
You have followed by question or not?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
What you mean by questionnaire?
Basically, ma'am, questionnaire means preparing a set of questions so that we can come to some conclusion.
Okay.
Yes.
May I know your name?
मैम रंजू मरवाहा.
अच्छा अच्छा, आप कोऑर्डिनेटर ही बोल रही हैं.
हाँ जी
ओके,
मैम.
थैंक यू रंजू. रंजू, आपके इसमें सेंटर में लोग बहुत कम दिखाई दे रहे हैं. दे आर
Ma'am, they
नॉट
are
कमिंग अप टू
sitting on the other side, ma'am.
अदर साइड.
I'm telling them to shift to this side. Kindly shift to this side, staff members,
तो
please.
आप, मैं
Kindly shift to this side.
सभी सेंटर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि थोड़ा जो
Are they visible, ma'am?
पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो थोड़ा हमारे कैमरे के व्यू में रहा करें. हमें लगता है कि हम खाली कुर्सियों को नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं.
नहीं नहीं मैम, they are just shifting.
Is when they are there, they should be in our site also. Thank you. Let me now go to Vijayawada. Yes, Institute of Technology, Vijayawada. I would like to know what you understand by questionnaire. Yes, sir. What you understand by questionnaire? Am I audible to you? Are you hearing me? Okay, okay. Let me just extend what Ranju has said. So questionnaire is nothing but a written instrument which contains series of questions to which individuals respond, and it is generally completed by the respondents individually. Now, questionnaire we can mail also, and researcher, if he has time, they can go individually, personally also, for getting the information through the questionnaire. There are, of course, both advantages, disadvantages in both the things. We will take later. Then, generally, in questionnaires, we go for factual information, but at certain points, we go for also the qualitative information as well. And questionnaires are best when we have geographically wide sample. That's our sample is scattered in a large area. Then it becomes difficult to go individually and go for interviews and all. So there we prefer to mail the questionnaire and get the information required for the conduct of the study. There are certain steps in designing questionnaire. Actually, whatsoever may be the tool which we are using, maybe questionnaire, maybe interview schedule, maybe the observation schedule, we have to follow certain steps for that. The very first step is that we should be very clear for the purposes or objectives of the question. What are the objectives of the study? From there we come out that for which thing we need a questionnaire. It may be that for all objectives we may not need questionnaire, so we have to see for which objective, sub-objective we really need the questionnaire. B, the researcher should be very clear on this thing. Then once this is decided, then you have to look to the C2, what is the population and what is the sample for that. Because certain things, say if you are, why we want to know about the sample, nature of sample, why we are interested in that. Say I am writing questions keeping in view my objective. Why should I at all look to who is the population and who will be the sample for my study? Again, I will like to know from you. Let me go to the Gandhi Academy of Technology and Engineering, Ganjam, Odisha. I will like to know that once I am clear about the purposes, objectives, and the objective for which I am going to make the questionnaire, why should I know about the population and the sample also? Why should I go for it? Yes?
And because according to that we have to design the questionnaire.
Why? Why? But information will be helpful to me for designing the questionnaire. Because I am keeping in view the this purpose and objectives of the thing. Then why should I know also about the population sample also? Yes. Okay. Dronacharya College of Engineering, Gurgaon. Yes. Dronacharya College of Engineering and गुड़गांव में is there anybody?
Hello?
हाँ जी लोग तो बैठे हैं तो फिर
Hello, ma'am, is it audible?
yes please.
Ma'am, the knowledge of population and sample is required so that we get what the knowledge is required out of the questionnaire. If we select a population that is not as per we require, then we can have wrong results.
Okay, any other view from this institution?
Hanji, ma'am?
Any other view of any other person from about it?
No, ma'am.
Partially, you are right. May I know your name?
Nishi.
Nishi. Thank you, Nishi.
Welcome.
Let me hear from Dronacharya College of Engineering, Greater Noida also.
Hello.
Anji, yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's Vivek Agrawal.
Anji, Vivek.
Ma'am, actually we need the characteristic of population. For example, if we are we have a sample size of a particular age group, so we have to divide our respondent according to the age groups. Let the minimum age can be, let for example the minimum age of population can be 10 years and maximum is 60 years. So we have to divide the age groups according. These can be the one of the reason why we have to have a characteristic of population.
Okay.
And similarly, for designing a questionnaire also, questions or formulating the question languages, also the characteristics of population is needed.
Very good, very good. So we need the question, the as far as sample and division of the age is concerned, for questionnaire it's not that important, but very rightly said by you, Vivekji, that for you must know your audience from whom you are making the questionnaire. Because say they are illiterate, right? So point is, or they are not computer savvy, and you are asked certain questions which are highly having some type of technical words, and the common person doesn't know about those things. So we must know from whom we are to, for whom we are using this questionnaire. So audience must be known to the researcher, then only the questionnaire will be better prepared. Then, once the objectives are clear, we develop research questions which are to be addressed in the designing of questionnaire. Then we write criterion questions, means there are research questions, then we come to the sub questions, and finally we write the items. So a process just goes like this, that we know the study purpose, then research questions are written, then basis on that you make all these criterion questions as the sub questions for that, and finally we come to the questionnaire items, and finally the questionnaire is assembled in the final stage. Now the next step so is that check that each issue, that is the criterion questions which you have taught, each and everything is addressed in the questionnaire that the researcher has to take care. And for one issue, there may be several questions to reach at the final answer. There may not be one-to-one equation between the two. There may be number of questions which you have to ask for just deciding that you have covered that subcomponent of the research question. Then writing instructions is also very important, and in writing instructions we also tell them the purpose, about the purpose of the question, why you are asking, how that will be helpful to him and to the research at large concern, then generally people don't feel comfortable when the anonymity is not uh, there. So you are to ensure in the right at the top that you will be keeping their responses confidential. Then how to respond, everything is to be written in the instructions itself. Now in the very first slide I was saying there we want valid results. What? हाँ जी बताइएगा.
We are from IC College. Dr. Santosh sir want to ask some questions. Sir.
Yes sir, yes sir. You're welcome.
हेलो मैम.
हाँ जी बताएं.
मैम जो क्वेश्चन एयर की बात हो रही है इसमें, तो मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि क्वेश्चन एयर का जो फॉर्मेट होगा, जैसे कुछ क्वेश्चन डाइवर्जेंट होते हैं, कुछ कन्वर्जेंट होते हैं, कुछ मल्टीपल चॉइस होते हैं, कुछ फिलिंग द ब्लैंक्स होते हैं, तो इस संदर्भ में जरा आप क्लियर करें तो ये होगा कि हम इस तरह का क्वेश्चन बनाएं जिससे कि डाटा जो हमको मिले वो अप्रोप्रिएट.
हाँ जी, हम इन सब चीजों पे आएंगे. क्वेश्चंस की वर्डिंग कैसे होनी चाहिए है, किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस नहीं पूछे जाने चाहिए, while final assembling what should be the sequence of the questions, ये सारी चीजें हम अभी बात करने जा रहे हैं. मैं अभी जस्ट एक जनरल स्टेप्स ले रही हूँ. इसके बाद मैं आऊंगी राइटिंग ऑफ द आइटम्स क्वेश्चंस फॉर द क्वेश्चनियर. तो जो आपने क्वेश्चन उठाया है from a participant from IEC group of institutions Greater Noida, I will be responding to them. So pilot the questionnaire and define pilot testing हम इसलिए करते हैं कि मान लो there are certain questions which are having very difficult wording, right? But as the researcher, you are not able to see from the audience, from the respondent point of view, that the questionnaire is having difficult language, or it may happen that you have written research question, you have written set of research questions, and from them you are making the questions. Now it may happen that the set of questions which you have written for a particular research question, that is not covering the whole but is desired for to answer that research question. And at times it happens that the researchers become very ambitious, और वो क्या करते हैं, they add, okay, I will ask this thing also, this thing also, this thing also, and that actually is not required for that objective of the research questions. And with the result, your questionnaire becomes very lengthy. And one of the good quality of a good questionnaire is that it should not be very lengthy. Otherwise, a respondent doesn't feel like responding to that question. So there you have added certain irrelevant information which is not desired as per your objectives of the study. So pilot testing helps in taking care of such aspects. Then we administer the final questionnaire. So this was all about the steps which we are to follow for designing a questionnaire. Now, as pointed by you, we will be having certain decisions about the question content. The content of the question should be, every time you feel, that's what I was mentioning about in the pilot testing also, these things you come to know from that also. Is the question necessary? Means that it comes at the pilot testing that you feel the people say that this question is not required. Why not the researcher right at the time of writing the questions be careful that really that is required in the for the study or not? So you should be, investigators should be very clear that really that question is required to meet that objective. Then only that question should be included in the questionnaire. Otherwise it should be dropped. Unnecessary information will make your questionnaire lengthy. So take care of this thing. Then are several questions needed on the subject matter of this question? It may happen In the criterion question, there is just one thing. In research question, there is just one question on that. You may require several questions. You may require two questions or one question. Point is how many questions required for a given research question or the criterion question. That will depend until you reach at that list. There is no fixed guideline that how many questions should be there for a particular objective of the research question. This the researcher has to see. He has to go on asking the questions till he finds that okay, now this research question is fully answered. And another thing which the researcher should take care is, do respondents have the information necessary to answer the question? At times we ask those questions and that is not required also. We include such type of information in the questionnaire about which the respondent doesn't have knowledge. Then when the respondent doesn't have knowledge about that, what he will do? He will write something irrelevant which will not serve your purpose. I've seen there was one study relating to cloud computing, and some questions were asked from the persons who are using smartphones, and such technical questions were asked. Define cloud computing. Now, if you see a common person who is using smartphone, he may not be knowing that much about what to mean by cloud computing and how to define and all that. So the researcher should be clear. Include those type of information which the respondent has that information. Then does the question need to be more concrete, specific, closely related to the respondent's personal experience? So such thing as in the above should be taken care of while writing questions for the questionnaire. Now, when we write the questions for the questionnaire, the questions can be of different types, as the participating faculty from IEC group of institutions mentioned that multiple choice ho ya is tarah ka ho. So if I say broadly, we can classify the questions into two categories. One are the closed-ended questions, and the other is the open-ended questions. Now both have their plus and minus. Now, questions that provide respondents with a list of responses from which to select, they are the multiple choice type of questions for which the multiple choices are given and respondent accepts or rejects them. Say, they can be two-way forced choice, that is, do you always wake up before 8 a.m.? Yes or no. So there are only two choices are given. Are you using smartphone? Yes or no. You have given only two choices there. Then they can also be ranked also. This is the example of a closed-ended question. What, in your opinion, are the qualities of a good administrator? So, able to make decisions, fast decision maker, able to listen, impartial, skilled in interpersonal communication. So what you have done, you have given the list also. Not only that, you may go further also, that you tick mark all, means it's not necessary that they have to tick mark one only. They may rank also. They may give without ranking also these things in different permutations also. So these type of questions are closed-ended questions. Then we have open-ended questions. They permit subject the respondent, subject को respondent भी कहते हैं, freedom to answer question in own words without pre-specified alternatives. हमने पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में क्या किया था क्लोज में, we have given the alternatives. Here we do not give the alternatives. Some question is coming, I think. So open-ended questions do not provide respondents with any answers from which to select. Let me now here ask, why should we go for open-ended questions in a question? Yes? Anybody from any center? My question is, why should I include open-ended questions in the question? I would like to hear from Chandigarh University. Chandigarh University, Vadodara. ये तो यार elected नहीं है. CV Raman College of Engineering.
Yes.
Oh,
Siviram College.
yes, sir.
Open-ended are required if there are too many options which are not able to find out. So there you can put open-ended question or
Very good. Very good. Very good. So when there are too many of the things, you may not be maybe may not be. Any other? Let me hear from this Panipat University of Engineering. Panipat University of Engineering and Technology, please. Will you anybody answer about the?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yes.
This is Amitav from Dronacharya. Ma'am, in several cases, you do not require categorized information. So, open-ended questions are used when you want the respondents to reveal something which cannot be kept in categories. Means like their emotions, their feelings, which you want let them to describe in their own words. So in such situations, open-ended questions are used.
आप सर गुड़गांव से बोल रहे हैं नोएडा से
Greater Noida, ma'am.
सेटिंग नहीं पड़ेगी
मे आई रिक्वेस्ट यू आपने यू हैव मेड ए गुड एफर्ट मे आई रिक्वेस्ट दिस सेंटर कि आप लोग थोड़ा क्लोज आ जाएंगे इतने आपको लास्ट बैच पीपल so that we can just have means they can also participate. I'm seeing last few people they are not able to participate. Can I come? Can they come forward? Yes. Okay. Let me give the. Am I audible to you, sir? Dronacharya, Greater Noida, Dronacharya College of Engineering.
Yes, ma'am, please.
हाँ जी, आप थोड़ा सा इकट्ठे बैठ सकते हैं, काफी scattered बैठे हुए हैं आप लोग. Okay, now I come to the questionnaire. Now just see the example of the same closed question which is put in the open-ended form. That is, what in your opinion are the qualities of a good administrator? Now I am here, the researcher is not giving any hint. Everything has to come from the respondent also. So point is, the same question can be in the form of the closed questions, also can be in the form of the open-ended. The advantage of open-ended question is, rightly said by participants from Dronacharya College of Engineering, Greater Noida, there are certain things which the respondent will like to say in his or her own words. So open-ended questions give chance to that type of thing. They are not forced to choose between the given categories. So they have the more choice to respond to a situation. They reflect in a better way the thoughts and the beliefs of the respondent, and they are more appropriate when you have a long list of answers. So there also we do not go for the closed. Here let respondent tell the researcher what he means and not the other way around. So open-ended questions have such distinct advantages, but of course they have certain disadvantages also. So I will here like to know from some disadvantages from you only. Let me hear. I would like to hear from uh, YMCA University of Science and Technology, Faridabad, and the YMCA University of Science and Technology, Faridabad. What you feel are the disadvantages of open-ended questions?
Ma'am, main disadvantage will be like we won't be able to conclude. Like if there are let's say 10 options or 4 options, maybe agree, strongly disagree. Then we can conclude that these particular feature, or in last example, like let the quality is leadership. So we can say that out of 10, 4 have selected leadership on top. But if it's an open-ended question, so user may come up with some other property or some other property. So the conclusion will be difficult for open-ended question.
Very right, very right. Thank you. Uh, so very rightly said by you. The it becomes the coding of the things becomes very difficult
Yes,
if
sir.
we have open-ended questions. Then the respondent, there you will see that in number of open-ended questions, respondents generally do not say anything. So that also becomes difficult. And there may be instances when they say too much. So too much or too little both makes it difficult to reach at the conclusions. Then they provide incomplete or unintelligible answers. So answers are like that, which are very vague. So it becomes, if the researcher put in efforts to convert those things to the manageable, to the some related type of this meaning, then it will introduce another error, that is the researcher's interpretation of that thing, which may be different than what the respondent thought of. So such type of problems may arise when especially we are going for the open responses. Make it, there are so many scattered different type of answers that coding becomes difficult. Generalizations become difficult. Then interpretations of answers may also vary. The same thing which one respondent wants to say, the other person may be saying the same thing, but in a different way. So joining them together, putting them in a way that so that the results are presented becomes difficult for the researcher. Too much variance in response. Say you have asked, just जो अभी आपने एग्जांपल दिया था, that you are asking for the leadership qualities. एक ने एक दी, दूसरे ने दूसरे दी, तीसरे तीसरे से you have 100 things, different type of things have been said. So you can't say that a reasonable percentage of these they have, and maybe the synonym with those things may be there, but the word usage is different. So the researcher will not be able to reach at any conclusion there. And this becomes because now when so much coding is problem, interpretation is problem, right? So all these things, when you are say making another categories out of the responses, it is taking lot of time of the researcher. So it becomes very expensive and time consuming for the researcher also. So that's why we go more for those questions, and of course there are few questions open-ended also. Now I come to the next point, how we write the survey questions. Here I will be taking some examples to explain this thing. First, make sure that the question is directly relevant to the hypothesis. Hypothesis, research question, जो भी आपने लिखा है, you have to see, this I may earlier also mentioned, see that the question which you are asking that must have relevance for the research question hypothesis. Say our hypothesis is women are more likely to get out of a traffic stop by a police officer than men. Right? So the question asked was, have you ever been not issued a traffic violation when wrong after being stopped by a police officer? And the researcher concluded that women are more likely to be let off due to their persuasiveness and leniency of the officers to women. Right? Now, is this for this hypothesis, is the question written and the interpretation made is right or not? Let me hear from you. Yes, anybody? Now I come to Devi Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jalandhar. Yes, what is your views, please? I give you think time, more think time. Any other center who is ready can respond before that.
Hello, ma'am. This is from IC College. Shall we proceed?
हाँ जी सर, आपका नाम क्या है सर?
Myself, Tarun Kumar.
Yes, sorry.
Tarun Kumar.
अरुण कुमार. हाँ जी अरुण, मिस्टर अरुण बताइएगा. I hear your word voice clearly.
Hello.
Yes, please. हाँ, अब आवाज बिल्कुल ठीक आ रही है.
Hello.
हाँ जी.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I am from Devi Jalandhar.
हाँ जी.
Ma'am, there are n number of questions required to survey this point. Is women are easily awaked or easily defaulted by the army persons or policemen?
Like, which more questions are required? I could not get you clearly.
Hello, SLC from IC College.
For you, just IC College, just wait for a while, but let me hear what they have commented on this. This question, in your view, is right or wrong?
It is right one, ma'am.
I think, ma'am, this is the right question to have the answer to this hypothesis that women are more likely to be let off due to their persuasiveness and leniency of the officers, of the traffic police officers. I think this is the right question, ma'am.
Right question. Okay, and right for hypothesis, it's right written in right way. Okay,
this is relevant to the hypothesis.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Okay, let me come to IEC Group of Institutions, Noida. I was hearing some voice. There also you want to respond? Yes. हाँ जी सर बताइए.
One question I would like to ask: the basic differences between the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis.
नहीं, मैं null और hypothesis के difference नहीं पूछ रही हूँ आपसे. मैं जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रही हूँ उसकी बात जवाब दें. हाइपोथेसिस आपको दिया हुआ है, क्वेश्चन लिखा हुआ है, इंटरप्रिटेशन भी लिख दी गई.
Yes.
My point is it the right way of writing this question or this hypothesis?
You are asking about the questions though.
हाँ, क्वेश्चन है. मैंने अगर ये हाइपोथेसिस टेस्ट करना हो तो क्या ये क्वेश्चन ठीक है जो लिखा हुआ है? That is, have you ever?
I am asking some doubt about.
हाँ जी, नहीं, इस क्वेश्चन का पहले जवाब दे दे फिर हम डाउट पे. आपका नाम क्या है? सॉरी सर.
SL सिंह.
हाँ जी, प्रशांत सिंह जी बताइएगा.
Yes.
प्रशांत सिंह जी, आप की आवाज हमें बिल्कुल पता नहीं चल रही है. Maybe there is some problem with your center. Any other center who will like to respond on this thing? Yes, any other center? Okay, some trial was given by DAV Institute, participant from DAV Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jalandhar. Now, when you say here, when I ask this type of question that have you ever been not issued and all like this, now it may be that you are saying the person is caught only for twice and twice the he was left. Maybe we are not saying how many times it was stopped and how out of that how many times that person the lady was let off from that challan. So that difference will tell you that leniency is there or not. But here we are not asking that. It's just asked in one way. So we have to restate it. How many times have you been stopped for the traffic violations? Say if I am, you said that how many times you were stopped and you were left. I was say stopped 20 times. But out of that, only twice I was means let off for that. Now 20 versus 2 is not much. But if when you ask that question, she said how many times you stopped and caught? She said twice. So twice, so you say that okay, all the time she is let off for that thing. So that will not clear the thing. So and if so you are stopped, then how many times charm was issued? So the same thing has to be broken into parts to reach at that hypothesis. Then we are to avoid double-barreled questions. Say I am giving you one. Is your doctor friendly and reasonably priced? Now let me hear from you why this question is not a good question. Here I will now like to hear from Sri Sukhmani Polytechnic College, Dera Basi. Yes, sir. हाँ जी मैडम, हाँ जी रंजू. Give chance to others. Anybody who would like to respond here.
How this is double barrel question?
Why this question is not a good question? चलो रंजू आगे बताओ. How would you respond to it? Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm from I. I think in this question we are trying to ask two things: whether doctor is friendly or not, and another is reasonably priced or not.
Okay.
So there will be two cases. Doctor may be friendly but may not be reasonably priced.
Right.
Doctor may not be friendly but reasonably priced. So
Okay.
there should be different questions in my perception.
Okay.
Can you please if I'm wrong?
हाँ जी मैडम आप अपना नाम बताएंगे?
Dr. Kavita Saini.
डॉक्टर
Dr. Kavita Saini.
Kavita Saini. Thank you, Dr. Kavita. You have very rightly said. Say thank you. Say any respondent feels doctor is friendly, that's okay. But the person respondent doesn't agree with the second part of it, that is reasonably priced also. So double-barreled questions should not be there. Likewise, you see here, does the algorithm provide consistent and valid results? It may be giving one of the two. So you should believe the training program was a good one and effective in teaching you new skills. आप कहते हो था अच्छा बैठे सुना बहुत सही रहा, but it has not improved my skills. So the respondent agrees to one part of the statement and not to the other part of the question. So in such cases, such type of double-barreled questions should not be there. So here researcher doesn't know whether the respondent meant for his answer to apply to both components or only one of them. Then we should avoid ambiguous questions. Let us just see the wording. What is your income? Likewise, I may say, how many computers do you have in the college? Now, why these questions are ambiguous? Let me hear from TITS Bhivani. TITS Bhivani, why these questions are ambiguous? गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज भरतपुर नहीं है, उनका तो काफी ऑफिस है। चंडीगढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी भरुआ गांधी एकेडमी ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इंजीनियरिंग धर्मपुर।
Ma'am, yes, madam.
हाँ जी।
Yeah, because this is ambiguous because the computer used for a specific purpose, whether by the student or by the office or in the lab. Like this is a different purpose the computer are used. That's why when you ask for this question, what is the total number of computers?
Okay. So point is, when you just ask how many computers do you have in the college, now the purpose maybe for student instruction that is not specified. For the office use, the person is not clear. So you will get different type of response with different perception from the respondents. Say one feels that okay, I will give the total. Other feels feel no, but the what is there in the labs, I will take count those only. So this type of information interpreted. Likewise, for what is your income? Now, income is it from the only the monthly pay, or what show other things are to be included or not? Okay, that's why these type of questions are ambiguous. Then let's look at how old are you. Now, why this question is not a right question? Let me hear again from you.
Ma'am,
Anji.
because
Any center.
ma'am,
Yes.
Gandhi Academy, ma'am.
Could I get sorry sir? Anji, yes please.
ये जो ऑप्शन है ना मैडम, ये
Yes.
फर्स्ट ऑप्शन में 15 to 20 है, तो कोई 20 होगा तो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन भी चूज कर सकता है, सेकंड ऑप्शन भी चूज कर सकता है।
और ऐसा भी नहीं है सारे फर्स्ट ही करेंगे, बिकॉज नोबडी वांट्स टू लुक ओल्डर, तो सारे 20 वाले 15 to 20 की रेंज में चले जाएंगे। So such type of overlapping that will be here. So the rule in the questionnaire design is to avoid any overlap of categories. तो जब भी आप एज क्लास कुछ भी ऐसी चीजें लेके चलते हैं, एक्सपीरियंस एंड ऑल दैट, then you have to take care that there is no overlapping. It may be asking about the income also. Then linking personalities or institutions to issues, this can also affect the responses. Like, what is wrong? It is generally better to have a man at the head of the department composed of both men and women. Here you see that as if the researcher wants that you agree with it. So such type of leading questions should not be there. Like when you see, don't you think that global warming is a serious environment problem? Now you're saying, don't you think that she says that the answer should go in what you want? Likewise, you see, would you agree that the government policies on health are unfair? If you want to say that the respondent says that yes, they are unfair. Likewise, you see unemployment is increasing, isn't it? So again, you are going for the answer which you want. Smoking is bad, isn't it? So such type of giving lead type to the respondent, such type of questions should not be there. Then you have to see that any question, the option is having uniform meaning for all the respondents. Like here you see, how often do you clean your teeth? Right? So you say frequently, often, infrequently, never. Now this, what does this infrequently mean? Now frequently, even frequently may differ from person to person. So how can I improve on this question? Okay. Anybody? From any center? How can I improve this question? Anybody from any center? Okay, let me request.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is Tanmay from C.V. Raman College of Engineering. Hello.
हाँ जी, ये सीवी रमन.
हाँ.
हाँ जी, सर बताइएगा. हाँ जी.
So instead of frequently, it's better to use the term regularly.
ओके, रेगुलरली भी तो डिफरेंट हो जाएगा ना. रेगुलरली तो रोज का एक हो गया. तो जो फ्रीक्वेंटली है ना, वो हो सकता है हर मील के बाद कर रहा हूँ. तो इट इज क्वांटिफाइड. मेक टाइम्स आफ्टर एवरी मील, राइट? intake like that. So point is, these type of things may have different meanings. And by framing questions for the questionnaire, there should not be double negatives. It's not the case that I have never cheated on my tax returns. The person will think twice what is the meaning of this type of wording. Never should one not help others. Again, double negative. So it again becomes very difficult to interpret and respond. Some may lose sight of one of the negative. So the things will totally change if such type of thing is there. Then survey questions, there should not be any objectionable or irrelevant questions there. Like, have you answered each question truthfully? Now, why this question is not a right thing? Let me hear from Institute of Technology, Vijayawada. Why this thing is objectionable? Yes, sir. Why this is not a right thing to ask in the question? Yes, anybody from this Vijayawada?
Yes, ma'am.
नहीं, एक सीवी रमन आपका काफी हो गया है. हम अभी दूसरे सेंटर्स पे करेंगे. Just wait for a while. I come back to you for some other question.
Ma'am, may I answer the question?
Okay, Gandhi Academy of Technology. TIT. Okay, TIT. Yes, please.
Yes, so this question is objectionable because we are doubting the credibility of the person who has answered the survey.
हाँ जी, नाम क्या है आपका?
अखिल कौशिक मैम.
हाँ जी.
अखिल.
अखिल, थैंक यू अखिल. आपने सही कहा है. When we say we are just means questioning the sincereness of that person, so that's wrong way to ask. Likewise, how many years of education were you able to complete? Again, this is objectionable because it gives a question mark to their ability, which is not the purpose of any research. So, using such type of sentences are not desirable in framing of questions in the questionnaire. And we have to avoid technical words, slang, unusual vocabulary. This thing, what you mean by cloud computing and all that, that is not desired. So such type of things should not be there. Questions as far as grammar, spelling, sentences, thereof. Be aware of the cross-cultural differences. There are certain words which are interpreted differently in different cultures. So if you have, that's why we were saying you should have some information about the population and the sample, so that if such type of differences are there, those things should be taken care of by framing questions in the questionnaire. Should look at wording of questions in you. For that matter, while writing the questions, you can have a look at the wording which is used by in different surveys by other researchers also. So these are certain things which we have to take care while framing questions for the questionnaire. Here I don't know the name who asked from IEC group of institutions, Greater Noida. कि हम किस तरह से क्वेश्चंस बनाते हैं और कैसे करते हैं. Is that thing clear now? जब मैं steps बता रही थी, somebody from IEC Group of Institutions Greater Noida raised these questions कि multiple choice होंगे, कैसे लिखेंगे. Is that question clear now, sir? I don't remember the name of the faculty who raised that question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Then how we sequence the questions while assembling the questionnaire. Now we are ready with the questions. Now here, while sequencing the questions, we are to write them in a way, sequence them in a way that early questions set the mindset of the respondent to later questions. Means there should be some flow in asking the questions. Start with non-threatening factual type of questions, because right in the beginning, if it's better that no sensitive questions are there, but if at all they are there, then those should not be written at the top. At the top, write that type of information with which the respondents are comfortable in giving: name, occupation, qualifications, like that only. Then move to close questions. Right in the beginning, don't ask open questions. So the close questions may be in the dichotomous form, maybe in the multiple choice, maybe in the rating type, maybe for ranking also. They can be come first. Then sensitive or questions will come. Then your open-ended questions. Right? Try to keep the survey short, ये मैंने शुरू में भी कहा था, so that participants complete them. जितना क्वेश्चन लंबा होता जाएगा, उतना ही रिस्पोंडेंट का जवाब देना कम होता जाएगा. So they are inversely proportional. Take care of this thing. The next step we said was the writing instructions. Questionnaire instructions, they should include what will be the purpose, how they are to answer, how you are going to ensure the anonymity. Then you are to request them to answer all items. In number of surveys, it is seen that students, some of the respondents, they do not fill answer to some questions, right? It may be that they are not able to decipher the meaning of that, and there I will say that the quality of writing questions, that's why we emphasize that should be good, so that any question which is not answered is not because of the ambiguity or other type of problem with the question. Here we request all items, because if the questionnaire is not fully filled up, then at certain points you will be having missed data. Now, how to that missed data, it becomes another problem for the researcher. So you are to take care that they respond all, and especially when you are there itself, personally you are collecting the data, you can take care of this thing. Then the way they write, that should be easy to understand. When the open question is there, then you are to request them that write it very briefly, and remember to thank them, because they have spent a time for you. So such type of things are included in the instructions itself. There are now the questionnaire is ready. We have, however, two concerns which are very important. One is the validity. Does the instrument measures what it is supposed to measure? I remember on very first day when we are, I think no, not, when we were discussing correlation studies, and we were talking about the student achievement and the other variables, and we thought that okay, we take the from the marks from the questions, the examinations. There also one of the participants from one of the centers, I don't remember, that person raised a question that in the achievement testing, the standards changes. Now it means if the standard is changing from person to person who is setting the question paper, it means you are not having the valid data for it. So whenever you are designing anything, researcher is designing anything, maybe the questionnaire, they have to see that the results which are coming, they are the valid results. Say if I am going to prepare achievement test, I am having 3 chapters in there. Now within those 3 chapters, there are initial portion is the easy, then comes bit difficult, and then the final difficult type of challenging type of questions. There may be one examiner जो सारा पेपर सेट करता है वो इजी में से डाल देता है, बाकी का छोड़ देता है. Now this type of a paper will not give you the valid results because the students who have prepared for the whole of the things, they are your test paper is not giving right type of interpretation with regard to those students, because it will say that our students are at the same level, whereas there are students who have done the full preparation, and that will not be interpreted to your test results. Then we say it should be reliable. Say आपने कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट लिया, आप pH आप मार्क करते हो तो because the instrument is not okay, वो अभी आपको सेम सोल्यूशन की pH कुछ और दे रहा है, 2 मिनट के बाद आप दोबारा करते हो, दूसरी रीडिंग लेते हो, pH बिल्कुल बदल जाती है, तीसरी लेते हो, pH बिल्कुल ऑफ हो जाती है. So it means there may be certain things, certain thing wrong with the instrument. You have to see that any instrument, whether it is standardized, you are taking from the market, or the researcher is preparing himself herself, that should give valid and reliable results. Generally for achievement testing we go for content validity. इसका मैंने अभी आपको बता दिया है. Does the instrument really measure what it is supposed to measure? कि आपने स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल्स का पेपर है तो वाकई ही स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल्स को ही मेजर कर रहा है, या आपने इतनी डिफिकल्ट वोकैबुलरी डाल दी कि वो बेचारा इंग्लिश से ही जूझता रहता है. सो दिस शुड नॉट बी देयर. सो डज ए टेस्ट इन ए क्लास रियली कवर द कंटेंट दैट हैज बीन टॉट? तो जो मैंने कहा है कि अगर 3 चैप्टर्स हैं और इजी, एवरेज, डिफिकल्ट और डिफिकल्ट है, तीनों को पूरा लेके नहीं चलता है, देन अगेन योर टेस्ट विल नॉट गिव यू द वैलिड रिजल्ट्स. So now for doing these things there is no statistical test to determine the content. हम इसमें क्या करते हैं, अगर अचीवमेंट टेस्ट है, we make table of specifications. Table of specifications हमको वेटेज बताती है कि ओके फॉर द फर्स्ट चैप्टर रिमेम्बरिंग लेवल आप उसको आसान कह सकते हो कि वेटेज इतनी चाहिए होनी चाहिए, अंडरस्टैंडिंग की वेटेज इतनी होनी चाहिए, एप्लीकेशन की इतनी होनी चाहिए, लाइक दैट. And then the paper is prepared. That paper is prepared keeping in view the table of specifications. You write items keeping that in view. Once the items are written, you take care while writing items that they give you the valid results. उसकी ambiguous नहीं है. So there are again certain guidelines for that. So you go by that. You show those test papers to the teacher concerned, and also administer them on a set of students who have already undergone that course. So point is a set procedure is there to ensure content validity of the achievement test also, and for the questionnaires as well. Then we take care of the reliability. So it's but not only that it is measuring what we intended to measure, but it should be consistent in the results also. While we were discussing the steps, we made a mention of piloting the questionnaire, pilot testing this. तो वो कैसे करेंगे? Now you hear, once the questionnaire is ready, you have written the directions as well. You will use a group of respondents who are drawn from the possible sample, but who will not receive the final defined version. Point is कि उसी population में से आपने sample ड्रा किया है. जो आपका सैंपल स्टडी के लिए यूज हो रहा है, उस सैंपल को आप एडमिनिस्टर नहीं करेंगे. जो दूसरा सैंपल है उसमें से कुछ पार्टी से सैंपल के कुछ रिस्पोंडेंट्स को ले लेंगे, उनको आप ये क्वेश्चनर एडमिनिस्टर करेंगे. अब इसका पर्पस क्या है? यू विल गेट फीडबैक दैट रियली इट इज मींस गिविंग द measuring the thing which you intended to measure for a particular research question. You also will see that आपका क्वेश्चनर ज्यादा लेंथी तो नहीं हो गया और बहुत ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट तो नहीं बन गया है. You will look to that also. And there may be some items जो कि you thought of that it will be interpreted by the respondent in this way. But when the respondent of that age level goes through that item, that person interprets it in a different way. So this type of information comes out to the pilot testing. Now use several items to measure a specific concept. Ensure that data acquired will answer the research questions. Now you can go to some of the experts in that area also and tell that okay, this is my research question. Whether the questions putting in my questionnaire, do they really in combined way measure that research question or not? So uh, that you can have another expert view. Then while this we ask for more closed and open-ended questions. When you are finally going through it, of course it will come up to the printing level. Avoid splitting an item over more than one page. ये ना हो कि आधा क्वेश्चन एक तरफ है आधा दूसरी तरफ। क्या होगा जब रिस्पोंडेंट उसको करता है वो एक आधा पोर्शन देख के फर्स्ट पेज की they will respond to your question. तो you have to take care कि वो चीज नहीं आए. Then comes the data collection. A data collection में questionnaire they are made or researcher collect data by visiting the respondents. Both these strategies can be adopted. In mailing questionnaire, problem of low rate of return will come. Not only that, there will be more chances that questions are skipped also. और casually respondents वो करते हैं. So when you are visiting personally, you can because you are there. आप जैसे आपने किसी क्लास से पूरी से डाटा लेना है, so you ask them to fill up, you collect all of them at one place and start taking information from them. So when you take round and you see that certain students or the faculty whomsoever is your sample, अगर वो क्वेश्चंस छोड़ते जा रहे हैं then you can means be sure that takes care of if you are filling the data personally. अब जब आप क्वेश्चनर मेल करते हो there are सबसे ज्यादा जो प्रॉब्लम आती है that is low rate of return. तो उसके लिए ऐसा भी किया जाता है कि आपने को अगर सैंपल 80 का चाहिए है तो आप पहले ही 100 को लेकर चलते हैं, राइट? Now about this also there are number of questions are there कि कितना acceptable होना चाहिए ड्रॉप रेट. यहाँ पे ये प्रॉब्लम हर वक्त आएगी कि जहाँ पे जिन लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया है हो सकता है दे आर दी की पर्सन्स हु हैव दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. तो ऐसे में जो आपका रिजल्ट्स की इन्फ्लुएंसेस आएंगी दे विल बी अफेक्टेड. जहाँ पे लो रेट आ रहा है वहाँ दी रिसर्चर शुड write another polite letter and giving again the copy of the questionnaire also and pursue them for filling the questionnaire and return. So these are the two ways through which we collect data in a questionnaire. If any person has any question regarding designing of the questionnaire, you are welcome, and otherwise move to the other yes, please. And you
Limitations of closed-ended questions.
रंजू आपकी ना आवाज नहीं है.
Hello, ma'am, is it audible?
Now you are very much.
Ma'am, you have discussed the limitations of closed-ended questions.
Okay.
Any limitation of you have discussed the limitation of open-ended. Any limitation of closed-ended questions?
Closed-ended it goes the opposite to the advantage of open-ended. If you remember open-ended में हमने कहा था कि he can express himself. तो closed-ended में expression खत्म हो जाता है. आपने एक set of leadership skills दी हैं कि आप ये होती है, ये होती है, ये होती है. But say you said interpersonal, taking people together and all that. But जो उसके मन में है वो क्लोज एंडेड में कई बार कवर नहीं होती और उसके लिए कई लोग क्या करते हैं 3-4 का देके एनी अदर प्लीज स्पेसिफाई करके कर देते हैं. उसको दोनों जो चीजें हैं वो एक ही क्वेश्चन में लिया. कई बार होता है से आई वांट हाउ दिस टाइप ऑफ सिस्टम कैन बी इम्प्रूव्ड. तो वो चीज जो है अगर आप ही बता देंगे कि कैसे इम्प्रूव होनी है तो उसका मीनिंग खत्म हो जाता है। लेट दोस थिंग्स कम फ्रॉम द रिस्पोंडेंट्स। तो ऐसे में हम ओपन एंडेड को प्रेफर करते हैं, क्लोज को नहीं करते हैं। सो जो ओपन एंडेड की क्वेश्चंस की एडवांटेजेस हैं दे बिकम द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ द क्लोज्ड एंडेड। राइट, एनी अदर? यस, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
Ma'am.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी रंजू, इज इट ओके?
Ma'am, I want to know that what are the tools to measure the validity of a questionnaire? No doubt, well, suppose I am designing a questionnaire with 50 questions, and I am supposed to measure the validity of that questionnaire. So how I can ascertain it?
If may I know your name? Your which center also?
I'm Amitabh.
Dronacharya Noida. May I know your name, sir?
Amitabh.
Amitabh ji, thank you. ऐसे है, I was mentioning about the steps, and at the end of the validity there was one sentence. There is no statistical tool which will give you the validity of that. It is theoretical type of thing. आपने क्वेश्चनर बनाया, if you remember I had given certain steps. से आप कहते हो कि my questionnaire will be will answer these research questions. आपने 2 research questions से लिख लिए हैं ना, उसके अगर सब क्वेश्चंस चाहिए वो भी आप लिख लीजिए। देन यू राइट क्वेश्चंस व्हिच टेक केयर ऑफ दोस थिंग्स। ये सारा बना के आपके सब्जेक्ट का एरिया का जो कुछ एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, मे बी 2-3 जो जितने भी आपको ले सकते हैं, मैक्सिमम 5-10 तक लेके जा सकते हैं। यू कैन गिव दोस रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस and those the questionnaire which you have made to those experts in that area, right? And ask them that if they want that this research questions be answered, what should I make, what type of changes are desired in that. एक तो वो आ जाता है। दूसरा है, आप जो ग्रुप ऑफ स्टूडेंट जिनके ऊपर आपने वो एडमिनिस्टर करना है क्वेश्चनेयर, यू अगेन टेक ए ग्रुप। एज आई मेंशन, वो ग्रुप सेम नहीं होगा जो कि आपका सैंपल एक्चुअल रिसर्च स्टडी का, बट इट इज फ्रॉम द सेम पॉपुलेशन जो आपकी रिसर्च स्टडी। तो उसमें से जो कि फाइनल स्टडी में नहीं ऐड होंगे, उन लोगों से भी आप ये फीडबैक लेंगे। एंड वेयर एवर मिस इंटरप्रिटेशंस आर देयर, तो वो सारी आप जब ठीक कर देंगे, वी एज्यूम दैट द क्वेश्चनर विल गिव यू द वैलिड रिजल्ट्स। जब स्टैंडर्डाइज टेस्ट बनाए जाते हैं, जैसे एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट वगैरह है, उसमें भी क्या करते हैं, अगर आपने किसी की सोशियबिलिटी, इंटेलिजेंस वगैरह कुछ भी मेजर करना है, तो उसकी पहले डायमेंशंस वर्कआउट कर लेते हैं कि मेरा जो 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 इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का टेस्ट है उसमें ये चीजें होंगी, वो डायमेंशंस ले ली, उन डायमेंशंस पे आगे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं। तो उन सारा उसका सब कुछ करके फिर आप जाते हो, उनको आप डिफरेंट लोगों को दिखाकर जब फाइनली टेस्ट बना लिया जाता है तो उसको वैलिड नहीं कहा जाता, अभी उसको डिफरेंट वे से दोबारा वैलिडिटी एस्टेब्लिश होती है उसकी। से आपने कोई आईक्यू टेस्ट, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस बनाया जो ऑलरेडी दूसरा एक मार्केट में अवेलेबल है, देन यू एडमिनिस्टर ऑन दोस कि क्या उसके साथ इसका हाईली कोई रिलेशनशिप आता है। दोनों टेस्ट जो है वो एक ही ग्रुप ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स को दिए जाएंगे, देन यू सी द रिलेशनशिप। फिर आप देखेंगे इफ यू हैव ए ग्रुप जो आईक्यू का बनाया है, तो एक हाई आईक्यू का ग्रुप है, दूसरा नहीं है, आप उन दोनों को एडमिनिस्टर करोगे कि क्या वाकई उनमें डिफरेंस आता है जो आप वाले में आता है। इस तरह से ये जो टेस्ट है ये स्टैंडर्डाइज किए जाते हैं। उन्हीं लाइंस पे आप रिसर्चर में भी वो किए जाते हैं, बट इट डिपेंड्स कि आप अगर एक क्वेश्चनर बना रहे हैं तो जो मैंने तरीका बताया है उस तरीके से करने हैं। अचीवमेंट टेस्ट बनाते हैं तो देन द थिंग्स विल बी बिट डिफरेंट। आप टेबल ऑफ स्पेसिफिकेशंस बनाएंगे और आइटम डिस्क्रिमिनेशन सब कुछ निकाल के, अगर मल्टीपल चॉइस है, देन यू विल रिटेन द आइटम्स इन द फाइनल टेस्ट।
Right, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question? Thank you, sir.
Hello, madam. This is Kamal from Sibiramon College of Engineering, Bhubaneswar.
हाँ जी सर।
My question is, in that closed-ended questionnaire, how will know whether the respondent has answered to the questions casually or seriously?
For which question? Closed or open? किसी
Closed-ended questionnaire.
देखिए, जब भी आप डाटा किसी से भी रिसर्च में लिया जाता है, यू कांट बी 100% श्योर कि उसने वो बिल्कुल ठीक भरा होगा. देयर इज ऑलवेज ए चांस कि वो डाटा जो जनरली क्या करते हैं लोग, जो चीज सोशली एक्सेप्टेबल होती है वो उस पर टिक कर देते हैं, तो वो आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हैं. वी हैव टू अज्यूम कि जो भी आपको डाटा दिया जा रहा है वो ठीक तरह से दे. जो वेदर जो स्टडी में ठीक दिया या नहीं, पर उससे पहले जब आप पायलट टेस्टिंग करते हैं, देयर यू टेक केयर कि आपने 15-20 सेम टाइप के स्टूडेंट्स को आपने वो क्वेश्चनर एडमिनिस्टर किया, एंड देन यू केम आउट विद द थिंग्स, एंड देयर इफ यू फाइंड सर्टेन गैप्स, तो वो आप क्वेश्चनर वहीं पे ठीक. बट वंस इट इज यूज्ड फॉर द फाइनल स्टडी, वहां पे आप इस चीज को दोबारा नहीं देखते हैं कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन ठीक तरह नहीं लिखा गया था, इसलिए रिस्पॉन्स ठीक नहीं. That has to be checked at the designing stage by pilot testing. Is it okay, sir? Okay.
मैम
जी सर.
ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं हम क्वेश्चनर में जिससे कि हम पता चल सके कि हाँ, ये जो कैजुअली आंसरिंग होता है ना क्वेश्चन में, वो कम कर सके.
क्या चीज कम कर सके? सॉरी सर, आई कुड नॉट गेट यू.
कैजुअली आंसरिंग में क्वेश्चन जो प्रॉब्लम होता है ना कैजुअली किसी रिस्पोंडेंट,
नहीं, वो आप नहीं चेक कर सकते कैजुअली. वो तो ऐसे है कि बेटर है कि पर्सनली जाके कलेक्ट करो, वही बेस्ट है. बट एट टाइम्स इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल व्हेन द sample is scattered geographically on a wide area. वहाँ पे it's not feasible for the researcher, और उसमें दोनों चीजें आ जाती हैं, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट भी आ जाता है और फाइनेंशियल चीजें भी उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो जाती हैं. तो ऐसी चीजों में रिसर्चर्स जनरली गो फॉर दी मेल्ड क्वेश्चनियर्स. तो मेल्ड क्वेश्चनियर्स में कि जो कैजुअल होना ज्यादा चांसेस हैं. जब आप इंडिविजुअली जाके करवाते हैं, देन दी चांसेस आर, और दोनों चीजों के फिर अपने अपने प्लस माइनस हो जाते हैं, जिससे रिसर्चर हैज टू ड्रा ए लाइन की कौन सी उसके लिए प्रेफर्ड वो हो.
मैम मुझे किसी ने सजेस्ट किया था कि एक पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन जो है ना वो इक्वल इंटरवल के बाद रिपीट करना उसको. तो
नहीं, अगर आप सेम क्वेश्चन रिपीट नहीं, वो सेम क्वेश्चन ही होता, आप उसको डिफरेंटली ले रहे हैं, उसका वर्डिंग चेंज कर दिया है. पर वो होता है जहाँ पे आप एटीट्यूड स्केल लेके जा रहे हैं. जहाँ पे मान लो आप कहते हो कि स्मार्टफोन की तुम्हें यूटिलिटी कहाँ रही, तो उस तरफ भी आप अगर मीन्स उस पर कहीं पे आप कह देते हैं कि ये चीज मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छी इंटरेस्टिंग थी, कुछ देर के बाद कह देते हैं कि ये चीज जो थी वो अच्छी नहीं थी, या वो उसमें मुझे डिफिकल्टी बहुत आई. तो उसमें होता है जब एटीट्यूड स्केल्स बनाए जाते हैं, हम कहते हैं कि इक्वल नंबर ऑफ, या there should be some negative things. तो जो ये साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट भी बनाए जाते हैं, उसमें ये चीज किसी की चेक करने के लिए कि कोई गलत तो नहीं दिया गया. अगर आप एक्सट्रोवर्ट इंट्रोवर्ट वगैरह के टेस्ट में जाएं, तो वहाँ पे लाई स्कोर का भी रिपोर्ट किया. पर एक आम क्वेश्चनियर में आप बहुत ज्यादा ये लेके नहीं चलते, वो उसी तरह से स्टैंडर्डाइज किए होते हैं. क्वेश्चनियर जो सिंपल बनते हैं फॉर बेसिकली डाटा फॉर एनीथिंग, उसमें ज्यादा आप इस चीज को नहीं करते. बट एटीट्यूड स्किल्स में आप, या साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट में आप इस तरह के आइटम.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
Yes, any question from Sri Sukmani Polytechnic College, Deravasi? अच्छा, Ranju, sorry, Ranju का group है, you have already interacted. Thank you, Ranju. But still, if you have question, you are most welcome. Done? Okay. Institute of PP, Institute of Technology, Vijayawada. Any question, please? Gandhi Academy of Technology and Engineering, Rampur. Any
Yes.
question?
Just now we have asked. Just now we have asked also.
अच्छा, जस्ट नाउ, सॉरी. अच्छा, मैंने सीवी रमन से गलती खा गई. थैंक यू सर. द्रोणाचार्य कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, गुड़गांव. Any question? Okay, any other center? Any other center who is having any question? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, from Government Engineering College, Bharatpur.
Hanji, sir. Hanji.
Ma'am, can we involve counter questions which are not, nullify our aim, which can include, which can be included in the question area?
Sorry, sir, I could not get you.
My question is, can we include some counter questions which are opposing our aim?
मैंने देखिए ये सब चीजें that goes against the rule. You are adding irrelevant questions and making your question lengthier, and you are not coming up with anything.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is not this type of question. I am asking that we are including some questions which are used to justify whether the aimed questions are met by the answers participant or not.
देखिए जो आपके रिजल्ट्स को के लिए चाहिए हैं which are relevant to your research question, they can be asked maybe in the positive form, maybe in the negative form.
Okay, ma'am.
It can be asked, but just they are tangent from the research question, then there is no point of adding those questions, because lengthier the questionnaire, the respondent will be tempted not to spend time on it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
You have to take care. But in any case, you see that asking the question in this form is going to answer my research question, then make it legally. That irrelevant that one person feels that okay, research question is this, and why this type of thing. That thing will also emerge when you go for talking to some colleagues, to some experts in that area. तो मैंने भी ये चीज क्या डाली है, देखो आप रिसर्च क्वेश्चन जो है उसके साथ मैच ही नहीं कर रही. That is very important. And why are you questionnaire happy with the things? Right? So you have to take that type of judgment. तभी हमने sketch में ही कह दिया था कि before putting any question in the including in the questionnaire, you have to see that really that is desired or not, that is relevant or not. If it is not relevant, then don't force your questions in the question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Any other?
From DAV Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jalandhar, ma'am.
Hanji, sir.
Initially, suppose I decided to take 100 respondents.
Yes, sir.
And after getting the responses, I realized that some of the responses are not given or given casually.
Okay.
So can I omit those responses, or I have to consider all 100?
देखिए आपका कैजुअली का डिफाइन करने का वे क्या है, इट लॉट्स डिपेंड ऑन दैट. कैजुअली का अगर आई हैव सीन कई बार क्या होता है, जो आपने 100 रिस्पॉन्सेज आए, मान लो आप 100 आपके पास आ जाते हैं, एंड यू फाइंड आउट ऑफ दैट 10 or 15 are like that, where say 20% of the questions are not answered.
Fine.
There you take that type of questions, because missing data will affect. अगर आप कभी बाद में SPSS वगैरह यूज करेंगे तो वहां पे आता है कि मिसिंग डाटा को कैसे हैंडल करना, एंड देयर आर सॉफ्टवेयर्स आल्सो कि उसको थोड़ा सा तो टेक केयर कर लेते हैं. पर अगर आधा क्वेश्चनर ही इस तरह से है या रीजनेबल नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस ऐसे इस तरह से आंसर हुए हुए हैं, देन यू हैव टू डेफिनेटली थिंक. क्योंकि अगर आपके मान लो 20 क्वेश्चंस थे और 5-7 क्वेश्चंस हर एक में डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशंस में ऐसे आ रहे हैं जो बिल्कुल आंसर ही नहीं किए हैं, आपने उनके बेस पे कोडिंग करनी है या कुछ भी क्लासिफाई करना है डाटा को, तो आप कैसे करेंगे जब वो इंफॉर्मेशन आपके क्वेश्चनर्स में आई नहीं है.
So I can omit those responses.
Means the researcher has to take decisions keeping such type of things.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Any question from any other center?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon.
Ma'am, this is Poonam from Chandigarh University.
हाँ जी मैडम, आप बड़ी देर बाद मिले हैं, क्या बात, आपका सेंटर में कोई प्रॉब्लम थी?
मैम हमारा ना there is construction work going on, so internet was disrupted for some time.
Okay, okay. हाँ जी
So
मैम.
ma'am, can we have access to this PPT and how can we get hold of this lecture? We
Yes,
missed this lecture.
ये YouTube पे अवेलेबल है.
Okay, ma'am. Then can we have the link?
लिंक आपको भेज देंगे. हमारे जो टेक्निकल पर्सन्स हैं यहाँ पे, दीपा एंड मोनिका मैडम, दे विल सेंड यू द लिंक. और आप थोड़ा सा पढ़ के भी आए, आई वुड से, किसी तरीके से लंच ब्रेक में, बिकॉज टुडे वी विल स्टार्ट विद द टास्क. तो ऐसे है कि अगर आपको ये लिंक दे देंगे, व्हेन वी विल गिव द टास्क, यू गो थ्रू द लेक्चर, और उसके बाद मे बी आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन हम कल करवा लेंगे, कुछ प्रेजेंटेशन हम आज करवा लेंगे, तो आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन हम आज नहीं करेंगे.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And after this session, after the lunch break, I will be discussing these two more tools regarding interviews and observation schedules. So we will have a task also. So I will give you time to prepare questionnaire, say for half an hour or so, depending on what is the time required by you. Then we will start the presentations, and that I will be doing after completing these two tools, that is which are left in this session, that is interviews and observation. Broadly, as I was mentioning, in the survey research, we make use of questionnaire, interviews, and observations. However, they are also used in other types of research also, but mainly they are used in the survey research. So, interview, as it is said, it may be face to face, it may be through the telephone also. So, we will be discussing what type of things you are to take care, what are different types of interviews, and at certain things you have to go and observe the things. Say we say that okay, so much of the lab equipment is there. Now this type of data may come from any institution through the questionnaire, but you have to supplement that really the things are there or not. So you may say, if you are getting information from 20 institutions, you may select some institution and go there and observe those, that really the things are there or not. And it may form part of the total study also, and you go to all the institutions which are selected in this in your sample. And sir, I am hearing some question is there, please.